Wordle has its own Wikipedia entry? Jesus. Okay. That was dumb. Features in R-E. Oh, I'm so clutch! Chris, how's it going, man? How you doing? The fuck you to the Wordle asking me to sign in. Baby Blues. Goldilocks. Okay. Rabbit's Foot. Evil Eye. Horseshoe. Or just saying hi before going to sleep. No worries, Plague. You have a good night, buddy. I appreciate you popping by. Thank you. Forget it. Oh my god. Traffic light. Mood sunset. It's good to see that you're fine as well. Yeah, I'm fine. Why would I not be? The fuck? By the way, day stream tomorrow. I'm off work tomorrow. Fucking, I don't have any plans. So we can stream for a fucking long while if y'all want. Okay, we'll figure out. I'm thinking like noon my time, like noon Eastern. I don't know what that time is for you guys. Approximately 8 hours before right now, whatever time it is. And we can stream for a fucking while because I'm free. I got no work. Yeah. I'll hold you to that. Okay. We can make something happen. I think you underestimate how different people used to think, even up to Roman times. Ooth, did you just give me the N-word pass? Is that how that works? I can't help it again. No, Plague, okay. Plague, I'm not okay, I don't want to talk too much about this on stream just because it's like boring for most people. Okay. What I need you to understand is I can't give you that. Okay. What I need you to understand is the point of religion that most religious people will give is that it gives you some kind of everlasting foundation of how to build your life, how to like go about your morals so that you don't have to figure it out yourself. You have like a rule book that'll guide you. Okay? The problem with that is when your fucking rules are so fucking cooked and then you want to say like, oh, well, we can change some of them if they're like bad. Like, well, then your whole fucking point of having a religion just went out the fucking window. There's no point in doing this. What the fuck are you wasting your time for? Okay? That's the last bit I'm going to say about that on stream. If you want to talk after stream on like Discord, let me know. Obviously, I know you're going to bed, so tomorrow or whatever. But like, it fundamentally makes no sense. All right. Goldilocks. Okay, Goldilocks Sunset. I'm thinking things that are like golden in color. You wouldn't be saying this, any of this to COI Adam? Watch me, bro. Fuck him. That's what I say. Gingerbread Man. Chicken Little. Rock Print. Pet Rock. I don't know. Goldilocks. That worked? Goddamn. I would not praise the true creator, okay? I would die with my mind and my soul intact, knowing that I would enter the whatever Evernight's Divine Kingdom is called, okay? Whatever. As a true believer. Fuck that shit. I'm not going over to no fucking evil gods. Suck my this off. The Aurora Order's new saint, Mr. W. No. Mr. W is a double no-go, by the way. I don't even think there's a Stern Ritter by Mr. W, is there? Is there? If you got time, let's get through 2 chapter bunches. 332, we're, what are we at, by the way? 332, okay, okay, we'd have to try, okay, I got a hard stop at 10 p.m. So, I mean, we gotta try to get through 10 chapters in 2 hours. This is doable. It's difficult, but doable. Just do the 24-hour stream? Okay. I didn't even make that promise. And, like... Listen, I can do it, especially in, like, 2014 chapter. Yeah, I can do it. Because I think early April I have a week off work, so like I could technically do it at that point, but it's just like, guys, nowadays it's like, again, maybe we do that like when we start Reverend Insanity or something. It just doesn't make any sense for me to do a stream that long at this point. Like, look at we average like 5 viewers per stream. Like, it's just 24 hours, a long fucking time, bro. Luvian, how's it going, man? Traffic Light, Chameleon, Sunset Baby Blues. Fuck. Does anyone... Okay. Things that change color. Traffic Light. A Chameleon. A Sunset. A Mood Ring. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I clutched that up. Hold on. Let me cook. Unhinged, how's it going, man? How you doing? Yeah, might pop by later if I have time. I wanted to say hi. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you, buddy. A mood ring? Let me just show you. It'll be easy. Like this shit. It's like a finger ring that contains a thermochromatic element that changes color based on the temperature of the finger of the wearer, but people say it's based on your mood. Like, if I'm happy, it's going to be red or some bull. I don't fucking know. A lexicon. That's not it. The fuck? Okay, there it is. Looks like some crazy bitches. Overcome. Population, people. People overcome obstacle. Obstacle, struggle. Spirit. Human. War. Human war. Do an escape room game? Is that a thing? World War II? War fight. Fight human. Boxing. Human boxing. Match. Game. Game! That's not bad. Human war soldier? Oh, true, that would have been good too. Anyone here want to play chess? Uth, you want to play chess? What the fuck is this shit? Excuse me? The fuck is my ad blocker not working? Fuck is this? What the fuck is doubly? What the fuck is this? Bro, why are you not working? The fuck is that? Chess.com, what are you fucking doing here? Ew. I'm not home. Ah, fuck it. Booth is playing Poe with me. What is Poe? Sorry, I don't. Okay. Okay, let's just do some puzzle. Last night of ramen. Oh, shit. Oh, nice. Has to be my queen. Can't go here. Can't go here. Can't take. The take? What the fuck are you doing? It's this one, you idiot. I don't know why I kept thinking this was the king I was trying to mate. I was like, what the fuck is this? Downloaded Path of Exile, still haven't started. And oh, I gotta get the Crimson Desert game that Chris was showing. I think that's out now, right? Or is it coming out soon? I don't know. Okay. This week, I believe. Nice, nice. So here, can't go here. I guess he can go back here. I don't really care. How much would you pay to beta test the Lord of the Mysteries game? Not that much, honestly, because I don't have high hopes for it, if I'm honest. I just don't. I'm inherently a pretty cynical person, and most anime, donghua, whatever games I've seen are not great. They just end up being like gotcha bullshit, and I'm just, yeah. So it released today. It did, right? Okay, that's what I thought, because I saw a before you buy YouTube video and those generally come out during or after the actual game comes out. So I was like I thought it did, but when you said that, I was like, I don't know, I'm not a Mate in 3? I don't think so. There are multiple walkthrough vids. This pawn is clutching up hard as shit, bro. Mm-hmm. Do this. I see money. Release date not even official. What the fuck did I just do? I was so focused on reading chat, I didn't even... Oh, you actual fucking idiot. No, what have you done? You can't go here, so I'm okay. Oh. And if he sacrifices, then I win. Okay, hold on. Okay, I have to move because I'm just wasting so much time at this point. Oh, I saved it. It was so close, dude. It was so close. I saved it. Okay, okay. Let's go! Get fucking rolled! Call me the timeout merchant, motherfucker! I was low on time. Still beat his ass. See? If it's anyone, all those chess games and you barely know how to make... Did I mate him, Hope? Did I mate him with a rook, bro? No, I'm not gonna lie to you. If that was 2 bishops, I'm cooked. I don't know how to do that, okay? There's like some mating net web bullshit. I don't fucking know. I don't know how to do that. I did it with 16 seconds left. Bro, why are you guys so mean? We did it. There's no barely. There's a winning and a losing. And guess what? I got the winning. Fuck this guy. Just give me my fucking GGs, bro. What are you guys fucking hassling me for? Oh, 1050. All right. What are you talking about? I said the Lord of the Mysteries game? There's also a draw, you know? What? Why is this so bad? Why is this so bad? Okay, we won. I am the one who reads, Uth. But yeah, I think honestly it was just some miscommunication between you guys, because we were talking about Crimson Desert, and you just started talking about the Lord of the Mysteries game midway, and then everyone got kind of confused. I knew what was going on, but I didn't want to say it because it was funny. But I'm a piece of shit, you know, so... Thanks, Unhinged. Love you too, buddy. $322 pleasure, and we did pleasures. Go to 323. You know all about misinformation, don't you? With your president. Dude, listen, I'm not saying it is the case, but like, what are the odds that Trump is a sequence 1 and he's trying to become a Red Priest, engulfed the world in a war that engulfed the entire world in a war? I feel like he's right on that, no? Lumion stood at an intersection, his hands casually tucked into his pockets as he strolled leisurely towards Rue de Muraille. This street held more significance to the people of Trier than even the renowned Avenue de Boulevard. It was their aspiration. In the days before our Emperor Roselle ignited the Industrial Revolution, Trier's landscape hadn't sprawled to the extent it had now. It nestled in the easternmost corner, fortified by the stout city walls and vigilantly guarded by the soldiers. Their military encampments weren't distant, which prompted the emergence of numerous brothels and prostitutes. That motherfucker would have combusted at sequence 9. I guess the only problem with the hunter pathway for him is it gives you a huge IQ boost. And if this is him with an IQ boost, he would have legitimately been like a singular digit IQ beforehand. The rituals for Devil Pathura. Looming past beneath the sheltering canopy of Intas parasol trees, his gaze taking in opulent palace-like structures alongside the unassuming apartments. Worse IQ than Danitz. Listen, my boy Danitz is like he's on the spectrum, okay? And he might be dumb. He might be slightly dumb. But like he's an oracle of the fool. Like Donald Trump ain't doing all that, you know? He's like dumb as a bag of bricks. Looming past beneath the sheltering canopy of the Intas parasol trees, his gaze taking in the opulent palace-like structures alongside unassuming apartments. They all shared a common trait: windows adorned with frosted glass and the occasional green shutter. Rue de Muriel appeared to be rousing from its midday slumber. The road hosted a few pedestrians, but each one bore a distinct air. Some dashed in somber grey work uniforms driven by haste, while others donned antiquated finery, glancing around before slipping into the apartment complexes. Lumine's keen gaze caught sight of an iron-grey robot towering at 2 meters. A steam-spewing outlet adorned its back, accompanied by gears, torsion springs, screws, and bent pipes. Perched on the robot's left shoulder, a lavishly dressed man flaunted intricate makeup, his leisurely observation spanning pedestrians. Here, the ordinary and elite intertwined in a peculiar harmony. As Lumine advanced, he methodically surveyed his surroundings, his gaze unrelenting in its pursuit. In a flash, he spotted Albus approaching from a side alley. The Iron and Blood Cross Order member, sporting dark red locks, acknowledged Lumine with a sly grin. Under Martin's directive, Albus was tasked with tracking down Padre Guillaume Benet. It seemed Albus was insinuating a competition of sorts, pitting Lumine against himself to see who would uncover the prey first. Didn't Trump go on Japanese TV and tell them they had a surprise? Stop, you're lying. No, okay, no. Link, or it didn't happen. You're fucking lying. There's no bro. The American public is actually... You know, I say all this shit about Trump, but the fact that the more than half of the voting American public voted this man in, like, I legitimately think there's an argument to be made that the average Stop! That the average American voter is like, I don't know, Stop.
And we didn't tell anybody about it.
Hold on. Hold on. Like, I legitimately think there's like an argument to be made that the average American voter is like I don't know, like just disgustingly low IQ.
Anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor?
What the fuck is that? Who knows better about surprises than Japan? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor?
He's asking me, do you believe in surprise? I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out, the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50% of what and much more than we anticipated doing. So if I go and tell everybody about it, there's no longer a surprise, right? Okay, one more for the...
Dude, I feel bad No, fuck it. I don't feel bad for the American public. You guys voted for this. You guys can fuck right off. I don't feel bad for you at all. I feel genuinely bad for like the fucking world leaders who have to go sit beside this genuine knuckle dragging retard and pretend like he's saying something of value, and like coddle him like a child because you're like, well, if I see something, he's gonna just fucking. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Who knows better about surprises than Japan? I watch basically everything in 2x. Most people talk agonizingly slow to me because no, that's not brain rot. That's just me utilizing my time better. Okay, because this is how most people talk, and it's like fucking agonizing to listen to. So I went out today. I'm riding my bike, right? So like I'm learning how to do that, and like it just I'm learning a little slow. I'm definitely taking like holy shit, like actually listening to most people talk is fucking agonizing. They have no ability to put together coherent thoughts without being like no, I have not watched that coming. I have seen it though. Like I've seen the video pop up. I've never actually watched it. Okay. But like the way most people talk is agonizing to listen to. Their whole speech is just like they use so many of these filler words, like their actual sentences have no substance. It's literally just ums and ahs. Like what the fuck are we talking about? How am I racist? What? I didn't deduce any race there. Okay, if your people are the orange people of Donald Trump, then yeah, sure, I guess. Okay. Guided by the revelations of Demoness of Pleasures, Franca's magic mirror divination, the prophecy domain narrowed. Guillaume Benet's presence was expected on 5 streets, including Rue de Montréal and Rue de Cheval Blanche, in a week. Okay, first of all, that's not... Okay, oh, the Americans? Oh, sure. Okay, first of all, that's not racism. That's, like, xenophobia, I guess. And, yeah, like, you guys have put that genuine retard in power for 8 years, okay? You can fuck right off. I have no sympathy for you. Fuck off. Did you vote, Uth? Did you vote in the last... Did you vote... You're not aliens. I'm not a freaking... Jesus. Did you vote in the last election, Uth? Previously, Lumion could only hope that the Iron and Blood Cross Order, a secret organization teeming with formidable hunters, boasting superior tracking techniques and manhunt techniques, or perhaps Charmy Boris, an inevitability angel, may drive them to converge. As long as the distance between Lumion and Guillaume Benet was moderate, they would reunite. You're 18, what the fuck are you talking about? However, a new trail had emerged. This advancement was predominantly the fruit of mystical knowledge he had acquired as a contractee. Within this trove of knowledge lay a menagerie of uncanny creatures, summonable or recruitable, complete with the requisite cost of forging contracts. The compendium detailed the abilities obtainable and subsequent penalties. Merging the exhibition of Guillaume Benet's contractual capabilities from his memories and dream, Lumion pieced together a fragment of insight. Summoning abyss demon flowers necessitates a sacrifice of human blood. The downside, an increased desire for coitus. That does make sense with what most of his terms were not when I was age. You were not of age in 2024. 2023, I guess, was when the election was. No, 2024 was when the election was. He came into power at 25. Fuck off. You're lying. Invisibility mandates 13 portions of prepared meats, the downside, and intensified susceptibility to hunger. Slow flight sacrifices one's romantic infatuation perpetually, the downside, an urge to show off. Bone curse predictates the sacrifice of a living person. Downside, drowsiness. Soul assimilation, mystic spell, exacts no fewer than 3 human souls. Downside, random bouts of dizziness, numbering 4 to 5 daily. Internal explosion, demands the sacrifice of any characteristic. Downside, unrelenting spirituality restrain. Unrelenting spirituality drain. From the detailed description of soul assimilation spell, Lumion conjured that the Padre had inadvertently met an additional covert cost. That was his name. The soul assimilation spell affected the target's spirit body by invoking their true name, causing them to experience dizziness and other reactions. Amplified by deeper comprehension of the target and employed by verbiage of echoing the spirit world. In contracting a spirit world entity armed with soul assimilation, Guillaume Benet inadvertently disclosed his true name. Entities endowed with such powers could wield a true person's name for manifold feats, a potentially profound hazard. This clandestine peril was merely one amidst numerous akin enigmas housed by the contractee's wisdom. Therefore, Lumion opted for an extensive screen of spirit world creatures. Personal interaction followed by experimental engagement. Based on the known downsides accompanying the contracted abilities, Lumion hatched a hypothesis. After Guillaume Benet, a man driven by insatiable fear, found his appetite for sex surging. He definitely sought out women. The prophecy's alignment with Quartier de la Princesse Observatoire de la Princesse Rouge harmonized with the results unearthed by the magic mirror divination. Furthermore, he found his hunger more voracious than ever, and the act of intimacy left him drained. Thus, the likelihood was high that he would gravitate towards a brothel that catered both carnal and culinary needs. His first term was before... Yeah, did you vote in the second one? Did you vote against him? Dare I get out of this? But actually, did... And deliver me from this evil. Guillaume Benet was not only a man of fervent desires, but also an ambitious soul, thirsting for power. Being confined to the village and before the contractual abilities imbued his life with adverse effects, his lust mirrored an expression of power. Otherwise, it was impossible to explain how his desires sprawled across every woman, an inclination spanning the spectrum between an esteemed paramour and those of lesser stature. To him, appropriating companions of other men was a testament to his standing. Stepping onto Trier, Seoul, a place where his provincial accent drew disdain, he undoubtedly sought vindication. Fused with his relentless pursuit of strength and his pastile, Guillaume very likely went after courtesans, stoking the fires of envy amongst the local denizens. This comprehensive analysis of the Padre's character and psyche wasn't Lumion's solitary undertaking, rather emerging from the expertise of Anthony Reed. Armed with Lumion's intricate portrayal of Guillaume, Reed painted a psychological canvas, a vivid portrait. Thus, 2 distinct paths unfurl to ensnare his prey. Okay, Uth, you have to do me a favor, okay? This year, there's going to be midterm elections in your country, okay? You need to go out and vote, okay? Can you do that? Thus, 2 distinct... I would say to Unknown as well, but I have a feeling he would vote in a way that I would not agree with, so I don't want to encourage that. The first entailed staking out upscale brothels where both meals and famous courtesans awaited. The other trail veered towards investigations surrounding courtesans who had entered matrimony, taken on mistresses' roles, or even vanished within the past 2 months. For the former pursuit, the mantle rested upon the shoulders of the Iron and Blood Cross Order. Lumion's current task revolved around unearthing a conduit to intelligence about Rue de Murail's clandestine tales. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. They're asking for help to beat the nephew again. Bro, the nephew is the fucking problem, bro. He's a fucking... Oh my god, he is a cantankerous child. Holy shit, don't get me started, okay? Love the little kid, but holy Jesus. I hate to say it, I don't think we're getting through 10 chapters today. Okay, for the former pursuit, the mantle rested upon the shoulders of the Iron and Blood Cross Order. Lumien's current task revolved around unearthing a conduit to intelligence about Ruta Muriel's clandestine tales. Anthony Reed, an adept intelligence broker, held a key. He was quite well acquainted with Buller, a ghost-faced columnist renowned for exposing scandals. Buller, a connoisseur of drinking and writing, would frequent a corner of Hope Cafe and would survey the entrance before venturing into the brothel. With his objective clear, Lumien embarked on a steady stride towards the cafe. En route, he revisited the entirety of the task at hand. His divination capabilities paled in comparison to Franca. A lone prophecy spell rested in his arsenal, a tool he dared not wield recklessly. The finesse of Anthony Reed... Yeah, we'll get to 327, that's no problem. The finesse of Anthony Reed's psychological profiling and the information-gathering expertise dwarfed Lumien's own, but mobilizing these allies allowed him to harness these abilities. Lumien couldn't foretell the ramifications of ascending to godhood. Yet one thing was certain. Beneath Sequence 4, one's prowess met constraints. Cooperative squads harnessed the potential for synergy, allowing them to confront even higher sequences. Soon, Lumien caught sight of Hope Cafe, its entrance adorned with a milky white veneer. See, this is why, Lumien, you think like a loser, okay? You have a loser mentality. I can't find someone with a higher sequence. I need my friends. Fuck that. Klein was fighting genuine angels as like a sequence 5, and you're like, what the fuck is this guy on, okay? No friends. He had nobody to help him. My go. A slender-faced man in his 30s, his ebony hair framing azure eyes, his thin beard meticulously trimmed and waxed to precision. Sensing Lumien's scrutiny, the man's visage transformed. He reached for the soft-covered notebook and crimson fountain pen upon the table, on the verge of vanishing. In response, Lumien withdrew his revolver and dispatched a shot towards the cafe's exit. With a resounding bang, the bullet embedded itself into the wood. The patrons were jolted, their reactions oscillating. The man stood immobilized, unsure of whether he should run or stay. Under the collective gaze of the patrons, Lumien advanced to his target, revolver in hand. Are you Moswa Buller? He got all his disabled angels to pull up on a sequence 4. Chris, are you talking to me? Or to Kami? To Kami, of course. Fuck that guy. Take a seat, I've come to purchase information, Lumien gestured. A sigh of relief escaped Buller as he hunched. Why the preference for such a dim corner, Lumien asked as he sat down. In my line of work, reprisals are a constant concern. You're well aware that some individuals What the fuck did I do? What, you're a fucking... I said something pro-Klein. Unless you're talking about the politics stuff, I don't know. In my line of work, reprisals are a constant concern. You're well aware that some individuals detest seeing their name or likeness entangled in the web of scandals across newspapers. This corner grants me an unobstructed view, affording early detection of any potential troublemakers. Which is true, and which is false? There'll be no Lumien slander here? I didn't slander him, I just said, like, my goat. Which is, of course, Rain Murati. After a brief mention of the reason for selecting the seat, Buller looked up at Lumien. I didn't expect you to open fire so quickly. It seems the folk you've encountered before are quite law-abiding, Lumion smiled. Buller's instincts, honed from years of being beaten, urged him to retort, but he compared Lumion's demeanor with those of his previous encounters, and found a strange logic in the man's words. Only thanks to the shelter of the law had Buller managed to survive until now. Are you not afraid of attracting the police? Buller asked. Firing a gun isn't a minor incident. Someone should have already alerted the authorities. Then we must hurry, Lumion smiled. I want to know which courtesans have left Rue de Muraille, this haven of extravagance, in the past 2 months. They aren't true courtesans. These women possess their lavish residences and permanent paramours. They frequent high society, wielding influence over industries and policies with words alone. This place merely acts as a reserve for courtesans. I'm interested in those who fit my description, Lumion dismissed. 4 of them. Lil Jort wed a lone merchant and relocated to Backland. White Vase Sophie became the lover of a member of Parliament Battus, attending high society banquets and salons. She had a chance of becoming a true courtesan. Dew Rose Mary fell victim to mental illness and mutilated her face. She's now confined to an asylum. Condiment Beauty Paulina vanished from Rue de Muraille without a trace, as though whisked away by someone of status. As Buller recounted, he noticed the dashing figure before him, producing a post-it note and meticulously taking down notes. I encountered Paulina on Rue Vincent not long ago. She seemed well off, with a 4-wheeled carriage, a maid, and a valet. Sadly, I had pressing matters then and failed to determine her place of residence. Rue Vincent. Lumion's memory jogged. It was one of the 5 streets Franca had divined. Exuding the furthest from Rue de Muraille, it exuded a quieter, upscale aura. Based on Buller's account, he suspected Paulina to be Benet's paramour. With a fugitive, a prospective courtesan proved a safer choice than frequenting Rue de Muraille. Benet was intelligent and capable. His present yearnings for intimacy hadn't rendered him an imbecile. He would surely opt for a less risky strategy. Just then, hurried footsteps resonated as 3 police officers neared the entrance of the cafe. Coolly, Lumion donned his cap, stashed his note and pen, and slid a 50-roll note onto the table before Buller. With these tasks accomplished, he reclaimed his revolver, stood up, and proceeded to the cafe's rear door, opened it, and departed. The police officers burst into the cafe through its main entrance. On the elegant streets of Rue Vincent, stately villa-like houses adorned both sides of the streets. The road was wide and well kept, only occasional pedestrians and carriages passing through. As Lumion turned into the street, he found himself at a loss. He couldn't infiltrate every house and search every room. Besides, he was the most suitable candidate for this kind of investigation anyway. After a brief contemplation, Lumion smiled, strolling down the streets, and pressed the doorbell for one of the homes. A young valet opened the door. His appearance suggested no trace of southern continent lineage, and he gazed at Lumion. Sir, how may I assist? I'm here to inquire about the most splendid madam residing on this street. The valet was speechless. This was the first instance he had encountered someone seeking such information. Or perhaps not. While such matters were whispered about behind closed societies, were there occasionally individuals who exhibited curiosity of such affairs? What was this man up to? Before the valet could even react, Lumion produced a 10-roll door note and offered it with a genial demeanor. The valet's eyelids twitched. He hesitated before accepting. He suspected this young man to be a counterfeit dandyist. Dandyist? Specializing in duping affluent ladies of their bodies and riches. However, if the lady wasn't the valet's mistress or lady, why would he care? When the stranger acquired what he sought, a certain madam would also receive some gratification. The lady in Unit 50 is exquisitely beautiful, a genuine Trieran. She's married to a foreigner from the southern lands. That accent. As the valet spoke, he shook his head with a mixture of indignation and scorn. Lumion smiled. Indeed, under the sway of his burgeoning impulses, the Padre couldn't resist sharing his prize with the neighbors, a stunning Trieran. He might not host grand banquets or waltz to proclaim his conquest, nor would he escort his lover for public appearances. Nonetheless, he would inevitably find subtle ways to make his neighbors aware that even foreigners could possess such resplendent beauties. At times, Guillaume Benet had to exercise prudence in disguising himself. but his mistress's beauty wasn't something easily concealed. Of course, Lumion couldn't be certain if this lady was Paulina, the presumed mistress, yet the gradual collection of anticipated knowledge through bold assumptions and careful confirmation made him feel steadily closing in on Benet. Beyond the gates of 50 Rue Vincent, Lumion gazed at the facade as an ordinary passerby. The 3-story beige structure stood before him, surrounded by a lush green lawn and a garden vibrant with colors. Lumion promptly averted his gaze from the building's pillars. As for any possibility of being recognized by the Padre, Lumion held no concern prior to setting out. He had employed Nice's face to alter his appearance and communicated to his companions that it was due to cosmetics. Lumion's striking appearance, a fusion of golden and black hair, could be anyone's. As long as Guillaume Benet lacked the ability to penetrate the illusion, it was unlikely he would realize that his pursuers had infiltrated the vicinity. Lumion's current plan was to leave Rue Vincent and switch places with General Franca. He would then ensconce himself in the shadows across the Unit 50, patiently waiting. He refrained from adopting the guise of a tramp this time, given the scarcity of such individuals on this street. While a rare appearance may occur, these transients were promptly shooed away by the household staff. Just as he prepared to depart from the beige edifice, Lumion turned his head casually, his gaze alighting on a figure visible through the living room window. The figure stood at a modest height of 1.7 meters, clad in a dark shirt and black trousers. Lumion's pupils dilated for a fleeting moment before returning to their normal state. A wisp of a smile tugged at the corner of his lips. Despite the adept disguise, Lumion could recognize him even if he had returned to ash. It was Guillaume Benet, the Padre of Cordoue. This is nice. This is giving me, like, very closing in on, in Zongwil, in, volume 4, right? Five? 4. No, 4. At that very juncture, a parrot, adorned with green and white feathers, took flight from Rue de Muraille and perched itself on Lumion's shoulder. Lanavis in Volume 2? I feel like Lanavis wasn't as big a target for me as, like, in Zongwil or, like, Guillaume Benet, because, like, these guys are like, you're the fucking reason my whole life is fucked. Lanavis wasn't that big a thing in comparison to in Zongwil to mine. It chipperly spoke. Music a bit more serious? Sure, we've located the target. Located the target? Then who the hell did I just see? Another Padre? Which one was the genuine Guillaume Benet? Had Lumion erred in judgment, or had the Iron and Blood Cross Order been deceived? 15 minutes later, at the Dill Brothel, within the annex bar on the first floor, Albus savored his Lenti proof while discreetly observing the attendants, laborers, and overseers. His assessments encompassed the clientele well, yet wielding no results. Many concealed their identities by donning assorted masks. Having gained a preliminary insight into the inner workings of the brothel, Albus seized a chance to make his way towards the washroom. He veered onto the path leading to the kitchen when an attendant approached, carrying a collection of post-it notes. The attendant's responsibility encompassed recording the requirements of each room and relaying the orders to the kitchen. Albus, marked by his dark red hair, advanced and retrieved a handful of glistening coins along with a substantial bundle of banknotes. The attendant's features twisted onto a blend of perplexity. "I'm on the hunt for a scoundrel," Albus smiled. "I'm merely aware he shares your build and possesses your penchant for consorting with the most celebrated ladies. Post-exertion, he seeks sustenance to satisfy his hunger. If you're able to furnish me with the relevant particulars, this is all yours." Save his nephew. You know, if you were to beat the dog shit out of Kami, I would be really sad, you know? Uth, so maybe you should go do that. You know, like if you were to just genuinely beat the shit out of him, you know, just like after he, like, you know, he's crying, asking you to stop, and you keep beating him. You know, they're genuine. It made me very sad. The attendant's gaze locked onto the handful of gold coin and banknotes. He couldn't help but hold his breath. All of it? That depends on the value you provide. Rest assured. Lumion tossed a five Verldor coin onto the attendant's palm. Rest assured, you receive another 20, no matter what. The attendant gingerly bit the coin, stealing a glance at the back of the path he had traversed from. Just got kicked from it. His voice dropped to a hushed tone as he shared, just as you surmised, the man from the south, in room 2, frequents the company of the most renowned courtesans, possessing a penchant for pre-ordering his meals, which we dutifully deliver every half hour. A penchant for famous courtesans? A southerner? Pre-ordered meals? Albus wasn't one to skip on appreciation. He tossed 2 10 Verldor coins etched with the likeness of a warship. Sensing the calmness en route to Muriel, Albus covertly ascended to the 6th floor. Within mere minutes, the attendant tasked with meal delivery arrived at room 602. Albus straightened up, aligning his view with the entrance of the door. The door swung open, revealing a man of slight stature, not exceeding 1.7 meters tall. Removing his attire comprised of a pitch-black mask, a crisp white shirt, and pale boxers. Removing the trousers but leaving the upper on, concealing tattoos, eh? The more Albus observed, the stronger his conviction that the occupant matched the likeness of Guillaume Benet. Abstaining from disturbing his query, Albus settled back into the white-paneled armchair on the balcony. From his pocket emerged a grey furry rat, one of the beast tamer Christo's pets. Kami's French. Uth, how do you not know this? This is known. Lumion had engaged in the service of the rat, his abilities allowing easy communication and efficient coordination among team members. Naturally, Christo served as the intermediary and translator. Albus tenderly patted the rat's head, signaling it with a gesture, thumb and index finger forming a ring. This signified the discovery of the prime suspect. With a high-pitched squeak, the rat darted out of Albus's grasp, off to find its owner. Upon learning from Christo's pet parrot that the member of the Iron and Blood Cross Order had located the Padre, Lumion found himself plunged into a maelstrom of shock and confusion. Had he found Guillaume Benet? Had they? But then who did I see? If the occupant of 50 Rue Vincent is Guillaume Benet, where did the counterfeit come from? Substitution? It was one of the 5 specialized magics Lumion had acquired as an alms monk. The Padre, now a Sequence 5, was quite familiar with it. This ritual enabled the user to choose another person to inhabit their identity for a period upon sensing impending danger. By gaining the genuine or fake approval of those around him and establishing a strong connection, a ritual could finalize the switch. If the spell succeeded, the stand-in would be indistinguishable from the original. Although their self-awareness and performance may be compromised to a degree, their core identity would be hidden. When the substitute faced imminent danger, the one who cast the spell could alter their own fate, avoiding the calamity. Of course, this hinged on the substitute being unaware of the impending danger. While this ruse could prove effective on other Beyonders, Lumion was well acquainted on the circumstances of the spell. For Lumion, the paramount issue was which individual is the true and which the substitute. To deal a decisive blow to the Padre and apprehend him, Lumion needed to consolidate his forces and make a choice. He couldn't attack both simultaneously. True, because that was obviously going to be my answer. Just fuck it, just kill them both. But yeah, that's difficult. That's fair. Martin had only agreed to assisting in the prey without further support. Consequently, the majority of individuals dispatched by the Iron and Blood Cross Order were low-sequence Beyonders. If Lumion opted to solicit Martin's aid, it may take hours for them to assemble sufficient reinforcements. Guillaume Benet didn't possess limitless endurance, and the courtesan wasn't a demoness of pleasure who could allow an extended encounter. The person would definitely be gone by then. Who do you think is the real one? I think the one that Lumion saw is the real one. Because it would make sense that the one that he would be the one who's slightly more hidden and doesn't show himself as much. Whereas, like, the one that the Iron and Blood Cross Order member found, he's just out and about, you know, like, seen by tons of people. Like, it doesn't make any sense for that one to be. I think Lumion's being the real one makes sense in my book. What decision would Guillaume Benet make? Would he have the substitute remain at the residence to divert danger while he ventured out for personal pursuits? Or would he dispatch the substitute to showcase his characteristic behavior, drawing danger away from himself? After deliberation, his gaze shifted to the green and white parrot. Locate Franca and ask her to divine the authenticity of the Guillaume Benet at 50 Rue Vincent and the one present here. The parrot stared at Lumion. I'm just a parrot. Oh. It's too complicated. Guide me to Franca. Actually, lead me to Christo first. Time remained on their side. The individual at 50 Rue Vincent couldn't elude them. The team responsible for the mission could convene briefly. In the shadows, they lingered, while their foes roamed in plain sight. As long as they didn't startle the target, they could wait. Of course, they had to conclude Guillaume Benet's deed when the courtesan reached its conclusion. After all, tailing an individual posed him inherent risks, especially when dealing with the Padre and his array of bizarre abilities. In a narrow alley, the afternoon sun cast its radiant touch upon the mostly dismantled barricade. Franca, now garbed in an assassin's attire, and Jenna, disguised as a female mercenary, rendezvoused with Anthony Reed. Lumion delivered a succinct briefing, omitting details of the substitution spell due to time constraints, referring to it only as a form of witchcraft. Soon, an aqueous luminescence radiated from the mirror. They are both real. Both? Franca turned to Lumion in surprise. The witchcraft responsible for creating substitutes proves potent, resembling the original down to the appearance and even fate. Both real. Do you need me to consult another source? Franca asked. She aimed to seek confirmation from the entity renowned for an unerring divination. Yet this approach risked unveiling a question that would render her socially deceased. She envisioned the other party asking, "Do you entertain the idea of doing the deed with Jenna often?" How would she navigate this? Lumion shook his head. No need. I have a plan. Turning his attention to Jenna, he said, "Conceal yourself in the shadows, diagonally across from room 602 in the Dill. Keep a vigilant watch over that Guillaume Benet. If he concludes his affairs and prepares to depart, but we haven't arrived, refrain from pursuit. Instead, monitor his movements from a distance and deduce his chosen path." Understood. Lumion shifted his gaze to Franca and Anthony. Let's proceed to 50 Rue Vincent. I'll confront Guillaume Benet. Franca, maintain invisibility and follow. We mustn't launch an attack until we're certain. Anthony, secure the perimeter. If Benet proves to be the counterfeit and we hasten to Dill, covertly monitor the Madame there, tracking her movements. In case Guillaume Benet manages to escape, she could prove as a pivotal lead for the subsequent pursuit. If 50 Rue Vincent, the counterpart, is genuine, the skirmish erupts. Approach discreetly and provide reinforcements. Anthony endorsed the plan, assessing the calculated risk. 50 Rue Vincent, near the beige 3-story building. Observing Franca's invisibility, Lumion raised his right hand and swept it across his face. In an instant, he transformed into a man in his 30s. I imagine him pulling... I imagine him doing something like this. Let me find out. God, I love Bleach so much. Satisfied with his condition, Lumion proceeded to the designated building and pressed the doorbell. The door swung open. Officer, how may I assist you? I'm here regarding a missing vagrant case linked to the street. I'd appreciate a conversation with your master, Lumion fabricated. Please wait a moment. I shall inquire with our master. I need to watch 1,000 Year Blood War. Oh, fuck yeah, Kami. 1,000 Year Blood War is based as fuck. If you want, if you're free tomorrow, maybe after stream, if you want to watch it in the VC, I'd love to watch. I love 1,000 Year Blood War. Obviously, we can't watch all of it in one sitting, but like we can get through some of it. The living area exuded spaciousness, hosting a bluish-gray cat huddled in one corner. Its presence accompanied by the ceaseless chirping of caged birds. Circumventing an elegant sofa, the butler led Lumion into a parlor towards the rear. There, a man with midnight hair, azure eyes, and a slightly hooked nose reclined in the armchair. Officer, how may I be of assistance? The man inquired. It's him, Guillaume Benet, the Padre. Lumion's pupils dilated, closing the distance to a mere 5 meters. Then he parted. Ha! Action was the sole path to distinguishing the genuine from the impostor. I'm praying Kubo plans to do the Hell Arc. I don't know. Bit loud. Sorry, Shredder. I don't know, Chris. I just find that it ended in such a decent place. Obviously, the manga ended in a shit way, but like the anime is so good at this point. I would rather they just leave it at this point. It instantly struck Guillaume Benet, causing him to collapse in shock and confusion. Spell of Harumph. He's a fake. Lumion's eyes narrowed as he assessed. It was evident that he wasn't the real one. The way the man reacted to the attack, coupled with his lack of familiarity with powers and abilities, made Lumion believe that the substitute was an ordinary person. Disregarding the butler, Lumion turned his head and sprinted out the door. "To Dill!" he whispered. Franca, draped in her hooded, armored robe, materialized. Lumion grabbed her shoulder, allowing the black mark on his right shoulder to flicker. Amidst the swirling maelstrom, the duo found themselves on the balcony of the Dill's 6th floor. Having sent Jenna to inform Albus, Lumion had already memorized the coordinates. Upon seeing their companions arrive, Jenna, dressed as a female mercenary, emerged from the shadows. It's not over yet. Damn, he's dragging this out. A second round, perhaps, Lumion chuckled. According to Albus, the occupants of room 602 had already blown his load once before having an afternoon tea, and now had begun again. The soundproofing is impressive here, Franca remarked. Jenna observed as Lumion wiped his face, disguising himself as a typical Dill brothel attendant. That woman in there screams occasionally. Damn, is that padre into some abusive stuff? Jenna, an underground singer, had cultivated an open-minded and passionate image. A close rapport with Franca, who had managed the dancers, exposed her to a world beyond the ordinary. Lumion, his niece's face transforming him, glanced at Franca, silently requesting her to sprinkle fluorescent powder. Lumion knew that the invisibility didn't erase traces or scents. Should Benet escape in the corridor, the fluorescent powder would create a luminescence trail, guiding Lumion. However, Lumion reconsidered and decided that the use of the powder may be too conspicuous. Benet could easily detect the abnormality and escape using his bizarre abilities. Lumion then leaned into Franca. Deploy invisibility and conceal yourself. Use the spider silk to create a web that covers the target's door from the ground to ceiling. This would neutralize the effectiveness of inevitability, but also entangle Guillaume Benet if he attempted to employ slow flight. No problem, Franca said. In a blink, she dissolved as if a snowman had melted in the sun. 7 or 8 seconds later, a gentle breeze brushed against Lumion's leg. He was taken aback. Franca is using the invisible spider silk to signal readiness. Since this dude advanced to a demoness of pleasure, everything she does carries a sense of teasing. Yeah, she may not have complete control over her powers. Could unwittingly be affected. Lumion then shifted his attention to Jenna. Conceal yourself in the shadows. If Benet flees this way, you can shoot or execute an assassination. If that fails, withdraw immediately. If he heads in another direction, do not pursue. Got it, Jenna said. She understood that her capabilities could effectively be deployed only under specific circumstances. And with his team arranged, Lumion pivoted and directed his gaze at the wooden door. Take a minute to think about it, Uth. Take a minute. It's just a quick minute, but take a minute. In the following moment, he inhaled deeply, exhaling slowly to steady his nerves. With that, he fetched an armchair from the balcony and positioned it to the corridor. The invisible spider silk avoided him as he moved some distance away and sat down in a chair. In the following moment, he lightly tapped the chair's back, crimson flames flowing to his palm. As the armchair caught fire, Lumion jogged towards room 602 without attempting to conceal his movements, and knocked on the door. What is it? Fire! There's a fire! Lumion shouted in a faint panic. Simultaneously, Lumion detected a distinct motion, someone getting out of bed. 2 or 3 seconds later, the door swung open, revealing a naked man wearing an iron-colored half-mask and white shirt. A brunette, clad in a fishnet gown, was draped over him. Holy heck, can't you even let her go? Franca mused. However, Lumion's focus was unshaken. When Guillaume Benet appeared, his gaze flickering towards the smoky, flaming chair, Lumion reacted. Ha! Another yellowish beam shot forth, piercing both the man and the woman. A glimpse of shock and panic flashed across his eyes, revealing his grasp of beyond her powers. Then his eyes dulled and he collapsed. As the sound of something heavy hitting the ground, Lumion seemed to enter a surreal trance. Impossible. He can't be knocked out. This is a decoy too? Where the hell is the real one? Oh, it's so obvious, of course. You get 2 or 3. Shaking off his daze, Lumion knelt, peeling off the iron-colored mask. The face beneath mirrored the countenance of Guillaume Benet. Darkening with concern, Lumion pushed the woman away from his target and tore open his shirt. In the next heartbeat, his eyes fell upon 3 marks resembling signatures on the man's upper body. One on his left chest, one on his right, and one on the abdomen. This wasn't Guillaume Benet. Guillaume held more than 3 contracts, maybe even a dozen. All fakes? Lumion clenched his fist, his eyes igniting with a blaze. He rose, dragging the man into room 602 and found a blanket and swathed the woman, put her in the corridor. In the interim, Franca discerned the falsity of the prey once again, vanishing. Once she transferred the woman from the corridor to a vacant room, Lumion extended his right hand, his fingers closing around the throat of the inevitability bestowed, and snapped the man's neck. Jesus. All right. Following that, he shut the door, drew a ritual dagger, and sanctified it. Subsequently, Lumion initiated a summoning dance. He had chosen not to enlist Franca's aid. He was uncertain about the peculiar creatures the deceased had contracted with. It was possible they would induce corresponding corruption. Only Lumion, having been a long inevitability bestowed, remained unaffected by the spirit channeling process. The sedative and the last remains of the truth serum were reserved on the real Padre. Diagonally opposite, 50 Rue Vincent. Perched on the second floor of the building, Anthony Reed, steadfastly observing his target, espied a graceful lady hurrying out, accompanied by her valet. The group entered a carriage deftly relocated from the rear to the front entrance before embarking. Without giving chase, Anthony meticulously memorized specific details of the carriage and the horse. Amidst their fervent and contorted dance, the departed spirit detached from its corporeal vessel, hovering in midair. Drawing his own blood, Lumion enacted a command, compelling the spirit to bind to him. Summoning the Abyss Demon Flower, Invisibility, Transfiguration. Shit! Lumion finally began to understand. The individual at 50 Rue Vincent was possibly a product of a substitution spell. The one here was fashioned by a substitute by Guillaume Benet using Transfiguration. He was vigilant against anyone exploiting his negative effects to track him. Transfiguration was a contractual ability capable of altering a person's appearance, physique, and disposition, possessing even a resistance towards divination. Lumion steadied himself, summoning to mind the genuine Guillaume Benet. This resonance united with the memories that he had left the most indelible mark on the spirit of the deceased. In due course, a cluster of 7 or 8 memories quivered slightly, and Lumion selected one, striving to magnify it. For fuck's sakes, all of this. Fucking useless. Fucking useless, I say. Oh, I'm so mad. If you want to stop, it's an hour 31. Yeah, we'll just do this chapter and then we'll leave it. I mean, 8, 9... 4 chapters. It would be close. I'd have to do 5 chapters in an hour. It'd be close. Doable, but close. The memories of the false Guillaume Benet surged, and Lumion found himself immersed in the familiar confines of 50 Rue Vincent. Draped in the air of regal poise, the counterfeit Guillaume Benet stood before the armchair, addressing the recipients of these memories. Take this money and venture to Rue Muriel. Seek out a renowned courtesans of utmost repute. You must assume my looks veiled by a mask. Uth, you just said something fucking crazy, bro. Okay, chill. You just said something fucking crazy, okay? It appeared that he had likely gathered a cohort of adherents to inevitability. From among them, he had signaled out a candidate from the Southern Intes who swiftly reaped 3 successive boons. The candidate was meticulously endowed with the same abilities as him. Of course, the Transfiguration remained an integral, indispensable ability. From this vantage, it became evident that Guillaume Benet hadn't neglected the adverse ramifications of the specialized covenant. He might have contemplated this from the inception, or perhaps gained insight subsequent to dire prophecy. Reviewing his recent undertakings, regardless, this counterfeit Guillaume Benet, proficient in transfiguration, appeared to be a deliberate ruse. Uth, do you remember your last message? Lumion suspected the presence of the other devotees who clandestinely monitor the Dill brothel, clandestinely shadow the sham Guillaume Benet primed to relay swift notification to the authentic. If you would choose Lord of the Mysteries or AOT in plot twist overall, who wins? Damn, AOT's a good one. What did the Padre do? He's the main villain of the whole fucking... What are we talking about is? What? Okay, AOT's an interesting one. Okay. Because AOT has so many plot twists. The basement, the Titan powers, the walls, the... You know... The... Having to get your own mom killed. You know, the rumbling. There's so much. Amon has done way worse. Lord of the Mysteries, on the other hand, obviously has so much... It's close. It's close. I think... I do think AOT takes it. It's really close, but I do think AOT takes it. For how much shorter it is as well, I think that's also useful to point out. I think I would agree. I think I agree, Chris. I think I would. In such a scenario, Guillaume Benet enjoyed a distinct advantage. Whether he elected to abscond, leaving the product of the substitution spell to grapple with the looming peril, or opted to ensnare his antagonist using the doppelganger as bait, synthesized with the fragment of the fake Guillaume Benet's recollection, Lumin surmised that the genuine Guillaume Benet primarily resided at 50 Rue Vincent, yet he permitted the substitute to operate covertly, effectively obfuscating his true whereabouts. Upon realizing this, Lumion harbored a pang of vexation. Had Albus not unearthed the sham Guillaume Benet within the confines of Dill Brothel, Lumion wouldn't have been lured away. He would have affixed on the Guillaume Benet at 50 Rue Vincent, sparing him the frenzied teleportation. Lumion would have gravitated towards scouring the building, conceivably unearthing the real Guillaume Benet. Core 4 will be peak. Dude, I totally agree. I love Thousand Year Blood War, and I'm so excited for it. Core 4 is the last one, right? I think? With this epiphany at the forefront, Lumion cast his intention to scout for lurking inevitability adherents, recognizing that the bona fide Guillaume Benet had been alerted. Lumion terminated his summoning dance and dissolved the wall of spirituality. Let's head back to 50 Rue Vincent, he said to Franca and Jenna. Presently, Lumion clung to the hope that the vestiges of clues lingered or that Anthony Reed, entrusted with overseeing the locale, had gleaned something. Franca and Jenna emerged from the shadows one after another, wasting no time. Lumion grabbed their shoulders and used the spirit will to teleport once again. In the blink of an eye, their forms solidified within the modest confines of 50 Rue Vincent. Absent were the butlers, valets, maids, leaving an unattended figure, the result of the substitution spell. A meticulous scan of the surroundings concluded with Lumien's approach. He knelt beside the proxy. As the counterfeit Guillaume Benet's eyes fluttered open, they met an unfamiliar visage. "Who are you? What did you barge into my house? Get out! I'll call the police!" "Where is the true master of this residence?" Lumien's voice resounded. "I am the true master." "In that case, I offer my sympathies. It seems your wife ran off with the butler with your valuables. The valet and maids seem to have embraced an opportunistic approach, relieving you of anything tangible except the home itself. In a while, the police will be here to arrest you, citing your involvement in slaying the vagrant and perpetrating cultic rituals." Considering the retreat of the Madame Butler, maids and coachman and gardener, Lumien inferred their conversion into believers of inevitability, orchestrated by the genuine Padre. This maneuver camouflaged a multitude of cultic practices and eccentric observances. The false Guillaume Benet, having reached sequence 7, was indicative of multiple instances of boon request rituals. Innocents would undoubtedly become sacrifices. The imitation Guillaume Benet gazed about, bewildered. "Paulina! Paulina!" It's indeed the condiment beauty. Unfortunately, she's now a heretic. "Any final words?" Lumien asked. "I'm real. I'm the master of this place, but that woman is a succubus. She lured someone and ensconced him within the cellar. She's having an affair with the devil." In the basement, was she meeting with the Padre in private? Yes, the negative effects of the Padre do desire for coitus. That won't just disappear. Lumien scrutinized Guillaume Benet's the fake, who tenaciously clung to his facade. With left hand poised, he controlled his might, and with a precision and calculated blow behind the impostor's ear. The fake Guillaume Benet fainted again. Lumien arose to his feet, massaged his temples, and said, "Any word from Anthony Reed?" "No. It seemed he followed your directive to trail them." "Then let's search this place. One team of 3. Don't split up," Franca said. This was the territory of heretics. Even if they had already escaped, residual vestiges may remain. When the authorities carried out an operation, they had at least to be in a group of 3 or within sight of each other. Lumien issued a pointed gesture with the staircase adjacent to the parlor. "Let's proceed to the basement." The trio descended, and as they did, Franca leaned to Jenna, her tone hushed. "When you return, dissect the intent behind each phrase." "Okay," Jenna said. "Preparations before we venture inside. To thwart lingering echoes of inevitability's power or conventional creatures, precaution was paramount." Promptly, Lumien, now adorned with the altered visage and permanently lengthened hair, pushed the door open. Within, an unremarkable array of miscellaneous items cluttered the space. No conspicuous anomaly is apparent. Just as Franca readied for magic mirror divination, Lumien, with his hunter acumen, discerned the subtle traces. With a metallic clink, he unveiled a concealed door. Beyond lay a stairwell descending further into the subterranean depths. It was unknown whether Guillaume Benet had created himself, or had he sealed off a portion of underground Trier and modified it to underground territory. In the center of the stone floor hall stood an altar, surrounded by ghastly white bones, complete sheepskin, cowhide, and giant canine skin. Animal creation spell. Simultaneously, resemblances of felines, avians, and canines inhabited the floor above, and the brown-furred dog nestled beside the mock Guillaume Benet. Dog creation spell. With an epiphany, Lumien pieced together the genuine Guillaume Benet's concealment. Jesus. He had invoked the animal creation spell to transmute himself into a hulking, brown-furried canine. With a recitation of the preordained incantation, the true Guillaume Benet could rapidly molt from his canine facade, resuming his human guise. Jesus. This guy's evil as fuck. In the confines of the parlor, the counterfeit Guillaume Benet remained enshrouded in the unconscious reverie. Cautiously inching the guest door ajar, greeted by a jarring tableau. Before him sprawled his beautiful wife, Paulina. Ensconced himself on the sumptuous bed, unclothed, while a hulking brown-furred canine loomed beside her. Amidst clenched teeth, Lumion communicated the enigma of the animal creation spell, hypothesis to Franca and Jenna. I hope we find that fucking dog. No, the dog would have shed its skin by now. Humans turning to dogs? Jenna was alarmed. The world of mysticism is terrifying. The three of them worked together in search for traces. Before long, Jenna picked up a device from a crevice and said, "I found something." Franca ran over and realized it was dog fur. Both approached Lumion, who continued the investigation. Lumion's elation was palpable. He postulated Guillaume Benet's evasion via the underground covert route. Thus, they discovered a few brown dog fur. Following the fur, they found no other hidden door. After opening the hidden door in the rock wall, Franca performed a simple magic mirror divination and received a revelation that nothing was amiss. Bro, Dave. Well, he was in dog form? What? Where are you getting that from? You're making that up. Stop. You're making that up. What? It did not. That's not what it said, Kami. Didn't it say, like, the dog sat beside them or something? Isn't that what it said? Reread it? Am I dumb? In the confines of the parlor, the counterfeit Guillaume Benet remained enshrouded in an unconscious reverie, utterly oblivious to the stark duality between reality and illusion. Cautiously, he inched the guest room door ajar, greeted by the jarring tableau, and before him sprawled his beautiful wife. Ensconced on the sumptuous bed, unclothed, while a hulking brown-furred canine loomed beside her. I'm sorry, I read that wrong the first time. Oh, that's so much worse. Oh my god. Oh god. That's so much worse. Harsh, how's it going, man? Oh shit. Emerging through the secret door, but for me, Lightseeker, all of Lightseeker, that's volume 6, right? I like 7 more. I can't remember the name of 7, but I like 7 more for sure. At that moment, Jenna, who was in the middle of her group, Hanged Man, yes, thank you. At that moment, Jenna, who was in the middle of the group, lost sight of Lumion, but still followed Franca. Without waiting for Jenna to speak, Franca surveyed the room and said, "We've circled back to the sacrificial hall." You agreed, as in Lightseeker is better than all of AOT? I think 6 and 7 put together are better than AOT. I don't think just 6 is better for me, though. I don't think so. I think 6 and 7 together, I think so. Emerging through the secret door, Lumion entered an expanse echoing a quarry's cavern. With gas lamps conspicuously absent, Lumion summoned forth a blazing crimson to pierce the shadows. Simultaneously, he sensed that Jenna and Franca hadn't followed him. We got separated like that? Overridden by a low voice that echoed by the abandoned mine steps. Lumion Lee. We're not gonna be okay. No. Okay. We got to do this tomorrow during day stream. No. Okay. Okay, no. We gotta schedule this. We're gonna schedule this. We're not gonna read this. No. No. Kami, we're not doing this right now. No. We're scheduling this for tomorrow. Fuck off. No. I'm not. Bro, what? No. Bro, at this point, it's 5 chapters in like 30 minutes. It's not happening, okay? And besides, this is so dope. I want to do this tomorrow. I want to do this tomorrow during day stream. Fuck off. I'm a bum, sure. Yeah, I suck. For sure. Yeah, I'm a horrible person. You should genuinely just never, yeah. Okay. Yet I'm all you've got, Kami, because what's the alternative? What, you're gonna fucking... Listen, all I'm gonna say is, yeah, I wouldn't put all your I wouldn't put all your bets on, Dara. She can barely read English. Barely is, I'm giving her a lot of, credit here, okay? So... when it comes to English and French, this shit is cooked as fuck, okay? Oh, yeah. I'm all you've got, motherfucker. Yep. Let me schedule it now. Hold on. I'll schedule it now. Okay. Discord timestamp generator. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Alternative is Dara with bad internet and Easy doing a world tour with no internet since 3 weeks. I'm all you've got, guys, okay? I'm all you've got. I'm sorry, but I'm all you've got, okay? Alright, boys. We'll end it there. Fuck it. I know, short stream, I'm sorry, but we will go tomorrow. We can do a long ass stream tomorrow because I'm off work. I got nothing to do all fucking day. It's raining, so I can't go out riding. My whole fucking shit is cooked as fuck. So yeah, we got nothing but time tomorrow. Fuck it. We can go for a long stream tomorrow, okay? Yeah, I have vacation tomorrow. It was supposed to be so that I could go riding all day, but it's raining the whole fucking day. From like 5 a.m. to like 7 p.m. This shit is so fucking whack. So we'll just stream, fuck it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a good rest of your day or nights. And I'll catch y'all in like a little over 12 hours. Fuck it. Bye, boys.